about it.
Yuck.
Welcome inside Thursday Night Football with the Whale Capper. He's Drew Dinsick. I'm Dan Koo from Sport Trade. It's been a couple weeks, Drew. How are you, my friend?
I'm great, man. Enjoying the season so far. Excited for tonight's game. Happy to be back with you. Hope you guys are having all of the success so far this season. And I don't really know what your opinion is yet on this game. We haven't been talking behind the scenes at all. So excited to hear what your breakdown is.
Yeah, well, I was excited to see where you'd be joining us from this week. Seems like every week you're in a new locale. I love it. Yeah, a couple weeks ago you were sipping wine, and I mean it's still a beautiful studio. But yeah, great to see you. Excited about this. Doing a little more texting off air than we were normally. Feel like a budding friendship, perhaps, over this show is just kind of sprouting up. It's just very organic. It's what the crowd loves to see. People love to see it. But we have a game you mentioned in the preview is a really interesting one from a trading perspective. That is, of course, Tampa Bay and Buffalo tonight. This is a line that opened up at 7.5, and there's been some tomfoolery throughout the entire week. Jumped up after Baker Mayfield missed practice or a walkthrough Tuesday or a Wednesday. Then news of Vita Vea potentially missing the game caused this line seemingly to move up again, and then he was ruled out at the 90-minute inactive mark. So now it's bumped up a little bit more again. A lot of books have this, Drew, at -10 for the Buffalo Bills, +10 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sport Trade specifically. As you can see on your screen, it just moved again, actually. I made all these notes about how it was actually at 9.5. We're going to update that, and is now Bills -8.5, Buccaneers +8.5. That's Bills -127, Buccaneers +108. That's why we do it live. Let me get your thoughts on what just transpired.
It's interesting because obviously the market makers at Sport Trade feel slightly differently than the betting market momentum today, which has been pushing to 10.
Yep.
I don't think that these numbers are wildly impactful in this outcome one way or the other. When you have a team that's as heavily favored as the Bills are tonight, it feels a little semantic to be arguing over. Should it be 9, 9.5, 8.5? I mean, the push probability on 9 is wildly small. So
yeah, I would think
10 is a quasi key, although for various reasons we haven't had a lot of games land on 10 this year. I think the key question as you look at this handicap, as you break it down, you have to kind of talk yourself into how do you rate this Bills defense in the absence of some of their key players. Bills obviously come into this game with a number of key positions on the defense backfilled right now with second string guys. And in my opinion, at least, that was their undoing last week. They made a very pedestrian Patriots offense look viable. Patriots managed to move the ball with relative ease at the end of that game to get the game-winning touchdown. That's not championship football. And so my general sense here is the Bills defense is vulnerable. They know this. And so I think that puts the pressure on the Bills offense in this particular game to really show up. I don't think you can expect to win an ugly game and eke out a win. In fact, I don't think you want to give the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the ball back with a 1-score margin in this one if you don't have to. Right. So I kind of have every expectation, all of the kind of whiffs of the Bills dropping the hammer here tonight. And so the market movement we've generally seen of this pushing out to a 10, I agree with that. My fair here is 10. And
interesting.
But even more than that, I think a game state where the Bills are playing from ahead, where the Bills are being aggressive, where they have to, kind of tack away from what we've seen them try to do this year, where they were really kind of intended to invent a new identity for themselves using a lot more 22 personnel, 12 personnel. Now they're stuck with 11 personnel in the absence of Dawson Knox, and the pass pro's been fine this year. Tampa Bay's coming in without their most important defensive player in Vita Vea. So I think the Bills can flex a little bit tonight, score some points early, set up a positive game state, and let Tampa, kind of pivot into comeback mode. And lots of reasons to think Tampa's going to be in comeback mode, regardless of how well the Bills do early in this one, because they're one-dimensional. And even though they're going up against a battered Bills defense here, this is one of the most predictable and least explosive and least successful running attacks in all of football, if not the least successful. So
yeah, we've got some of the numbers on that too. And we were texting about that. I mean, they've averaged 3.1 yards per carry. That's 31st in the league. Rachaad White, the usage and inefficiency king in the National Football League. He is 38th, in run success rate this year, and he gets most, if not all, of the work. Now, Keyshawn Vaughn started chipping away a little bit about that last time out. But Jeremy Fowler, interestingly, reported this afternoon that the Bucs were going to lean into their running game. I think they're probably thinking the only way to control this is to keep that Bills offense off the field. But to do that, you actually have to be somewhat effective, and they haven't done it all year. They have one rushing touchdown all season. It was a Rachaad White 3-yard plunge, and the play calling has not backed that up at all. The last 3 weeks, they're running the ball in just 37% of their offensive plays. That's down almost 5% over the entire year as a whole. So, I mean, the game plan here and the key in order to cover, I would even think, is to just manage TOP. Stay on the field as much as you can. Try to find some explosives. But as you mentioned, our friends at Sportfolio had tweeted prior to, I believe, week 7. So not completely updated numbers here, but the Bucs have the worst scripted offense in the National Football League at just an expected drive points metric that they create here. So marking the first 15 plays worth half of a point. That's unbelievable in its ineptitude.
It is. I mean, I'm impressed, honestly. And I think it's
just to note this, people who are trying to watch on Twitter, real quick, X/Twitter being a little finicky this evening. We had an actual post right above the actual post. It says TNF with the whale capper. If you click into that will actually bring up the broadcast. I've been trying to fix it while Drew was not vamping, of course, but he was trying to fill the space for me.
I was vamping.
Yeah, because he's an absolute pro. And I picked up on that right away. So that's the fix I've got for you presently. But that's two pros here trying to fill the space. We'll continue to fill some space. Felipe, hello, my friend. How are you? We got to get you down to New Jersey so you actually sign up for the app and you can actually get rolling here. And Murray, our guy who watches every Sunday for the Witching Hour, starting to listen to Drew's pod, learned a lot. The Deep Dive pod. Tell us about the Deep Dive. That's how I found out about Drew.
That's right, man. Well, we're lunatics that can't go through an entire week of football without talking about every single game, and it's a pretty heavy lift on a week like week 8 where we have no buys and a lot of moving parts and a lot of games to talk about. So we ended up clocking in just under 2 hours of football talk yesterday. So presumably you found that on the Apple Podcast app and you are listening at 2x and we're not taking 2 hours of your life away. The deep dive is a fun way to kind of really start to dig into which way, what have we seen the market? How has it matured? Why is it moving the way it's moving? What is our read? What is our information telling us about injured players, player availability? It's a fun way to really kind of set up these games. And, a game like this, and, a lot of what we're talking about in our preview really kind of did boil down to, some of the key factors. Like, this is actually a little bit of a rerun for the Bills offense. The Bills played this team not all that long ago. You go back 2 years, end of the season, the Buffalo Bills, who were at the time rostered very similarly to this team that's going to be taking the field today, played Tom Brady's Buccaneers in Raymond James down in Tampa. And it was a little bit of a shell shock for them in the first half, where the blitz-heavy Todd Bowles scheme was really, really effective early. As the kind of legs started getting a little bit more tired in the second half, the Bills got a little bit better pass pro, and Josh Allen just exploded. They ended up coming back to tie the Bucs in that game 27-27 before ultimately losing in overtime. But the fact that there is a little bit of familiarity with the Bills, just in general, how their offense fits with the Tampa Bay defense. And the main missing piece for the Bills is Brian Daboll. He was the offensive coordinator at the time, and now it's Ken Dorsey. But certainly nothing has changed about what Todd Bowles wants to do. He's kind of, I don't know what the right word is, but he is what he is.
The Phillies of defensive coordinators, in that he refuses to adjust to anything, and he just rolls the ball out there. Sorry,
exactly.
My two lives converging.
That's not crazy. You're not getting lots of adjustments week by week. They are who they are. They're going to bring blitz. They're going to leave their cornerbacks on islands, and as a function of that, they tend to get cooked by teams that have good wide receiver ones. Now, I hold Stephon Diggs in high esteem. I think he's clearly a top 5 wide receiver one in the NFL, and expecting a big night from him. And so that's sort of one thing that I kind of hang my hat on in terms of Bills finding some offensive success here. And so then the question is, how does it manifest? It's going to come early. Are we going to see this team, play a clean first quarter, a clean first half, avoid the key turnovers? Most of their issues this year offensively have had nothing to do with their game plan, nothing to do with their personnel choices. It's been entirely, can Josh Allen avoid the key turnover?
Right.
And in that context, the fact that he's going to have, potentially, a little bit of pressure in his face, it's going to be imperative for the Bills offensive line to do their job, to do some, to get good pass pro. They're not going to have the help of extra tight ends for pass pro. And, we're just going to need Josh Allen to have a clean performance, I think, if we want the Bills to cover. And if we want our total to get there. I have a pregame over 42.5.
Oh, you do?
Okay. I'm surprised it was still there, actually, because this ticked over 43 and it's come back down. So closing momentum to the under. Best of luck to those folks who played the under. We are on opposite sides here, although I'm not. All of my closing line value evaporated today. So, oh well.
So real quick, we'll do two things, and then we'll go to the total. The first thing is, we were talking beforehand about just how decimated by injury this Bills defense is in all 3 levels.
Yeah.
In your opinion, though, this number is still at -10. So are we overvaluing the Bills as a team, or has the market just not adjusted to the fact that this Bills defense that was second in DVOA from week 1 to 4 is now 28th in the time since all the injuries?
I think we are a little bit.
Agree.
Their market rating right now, if you just kind of use any methodology, their market rating says this is still a top 10 defense.
Yeah,
that's insane.
That's
bananas.
I know,
bananas to me. I think part of the reason that people are kind of getting there, like, Trey White missed a lot of time last year. I mean, he missed all of last year. Right. He missed time before that. People maybe didn't really register what an important piece he was.
I just don't understand how. And Milano's another one. Milano's one of the best linebackers in the game.
That's key. There may be somebody, and again, most of the people that are making markets here are doing player level modeling. They have to know how valuable Milano is. But the guys they've backfilled in his absence, they've had flashes, but generally have been not Matt Milano. And so I'm kind of confused as to why people aren't taking that into account with these totals and with these, with the side prices. And I'm kind of surprised that, the absence of Daquan Jones also. Like, I mean, again, three guys maybe that aren't household names, but the absence of all three and at each level and where, the importance of all three, I think can't be understated. And so most there are people for sure in the market who are market makers who are like, well, quarterback's the only thing that matters. And or the quarterback's the only thing that really, really moves numbers. And that and cluster injuries. And cluster injuries are, usually you're looking at one unit as opposed to the defense, the spine of the defense or something like that, right? Which is kind of what it feels like is happening here to the Bills. So I do not know how you expect the Bills to cover Mike Evans and Chris Godwin all night. These are good wide receivers. These guys can separate, and I don't really know that long-term success in Tampa Bay is coming for Baker Mayfield, but he's been able to utilize his arm and get things going with those guys this season when he's been up against defenses that are, below average. And so if you think the Bills defense right now is rostered as below average, I think you pretty much are staying away from the side and betting the over. And here we are.
Here we are. For people who are new to the program, what we do is we break down how a market got to be. We'll tell you whether or not Drew disagrees with it. I'll also tell you, you probably don't care what I have to say, but Drew will certainly fill you in. And then we'll kick off, and then we will go through and live trade. But before we do that, it has been a few weeks, Drew, since we have had a show. And it's been educational, dare I say, intoxicating. So I would love to chat about our new sponsor for the show. Drew, I have a question for you.
Oh, hit me.
Are we here to win?
Yeah, of course.
To be immortalized in our victories?
Without question.
Or are we here to enjoy some crisp, barefoot Pinot Grigio? And let's be honest, football and wine, it can be a little complicated, but enjoying them together, Drew, should be easy. Excuse me. Let me pour myself a little crisp bottle there.
Did I lose a bet that I forgot about? I have to drink barefoot Pinot. No, I'm joking. Barefoot Pinot. We gave it a hard time last time, but
we gave it such a hard time that they reached out. And now Barefoot Pinot Grigio, the official sponsor of Thursday Night Football with the Whale Capper.
This is wild. So
delicious.
I can't even tell you how long I've been trying to get an alcohol sponsor because it is an easy sell as a lifestyle. Like it's an easy crossover. Like, who enjoys alcohol responsibly? Gamblers.
Everyone.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Yes, of course.
Everybody.
Yes. Who could use a nice wine to celebrate a win? Sports bettors.
Of course.
Who could use a nice wine to help unwind from a very frustrating loss? Sports bettors. Like this is it. It's just it hits every level here of our audience, and years been trying to get a sponsor, and you guys, you scooped me.
Well, here's the actual scoop. I reached out and they said no. So that's the actual scoop. Boost, disgusting. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know what? Let's set a market. Okay. Over under how many dollars that bottle cost me?
$8.99.
I was gonna set it at $7.99, and you still would have had the under.
Is it what is it? Is it under $7.99? Really?
Sure was.
You guys, I forget you live in a favorable alcohol tax state.
Yes. Yes, sure do.
They kill us over here, man.
On a lot of things.
Yeah. That's I
think wait for them to legalize gambling there.
Yeah,
Jesus.
It takes me an extra $1 if I want some of that sweet barefoot.
It is anyway. So sweet that I already have a hangover. And,
it's sweet.
I already have a headache. Okay. Let's go. Drew, you had talked about already hopping on the over, and I agree with you. This over started at 41.5 at the week's beginning. Got up to 43.5 this morning, before, as you can see here, dropping down to 42.5 at -104, -108 straddle there. Totally agree with you. I think this is going to be an absolute over. Yeah. And I just think I thought it was too low at 43.5. And obviously the value no longer there if you got it at 43.5. You mentioned giving back a little bit of that CLV. I'm actually in the same boat. because I saw this at 43 and I said, I still think it's a good bet. Interestingly enough, we have talked about in previous iterations of the show where you haven't taken a pre-flop total unless you were confident that both coiners are going to come out and be aggressive. But something else you said about waiting on a total pre-flop is the coin toss.
Yes.
So Tampa Bay 7 for 7 last year and winning the coin toss and deferring.
Wow.
So I'm curious if they were to defer and the Bills come out first. I have to imagine we are going with the over. But if the Bills win and defer and Tampa Bay goes out first, are you willing to wait to try to grab the over at a smaller number?
Okay, great way to set this up. So Tampa likely defers if they win the toss. So we can basically give the Bills 50% likelihood right out of that. We don't have tendencies on Buffalo, although I will note that Buffalo won the coin toss last week. They deferred, and it burned them. The fact that they were playing at a negative game state on the road against the Patriots ultimately, I think, was hugely impactful in the outcome of that game. Not necessarily the side, but definitely the win-loss, I thought, was influenced by the Bills kind of put into comeback mode as opposed to playing from ahead. So my gut is it's not 50-50 that the Bills will defer. I think they're probably likely to accept. So I would put somewhere in the 80 to 85% confidence that the Bills will get the ball first in this game.
So quick update here. The spread has now moved back to 9.5.
Interesting.
Yeah. So to me, 8.5 was too far. I like 9.5.
Never thought I would live to see the day Tampa where the sharps are fighting over the 9. this is right. It's a new world, man. Anyway,
and at last check, sorry to interrupt. At the last check, we took about $6,000 on the Bills.
Oh, interesting. FYI. Interesting.
Hey, we got some fighting in the comment section here over a fantasy question. I agree. Nobody cares about your fantasy question, Dylan. Yeah. But I will tell you, I've been trying to trade Joe Mixon for weeks now. So whatever, take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, he seems to have lost all of his steps.
Yes, sure. So Buccaneers 9.5. Now that kind of changes the equation a little bit. It's not a key number. Okay. But it is some extra boost in my opinion.
Yeah, it is. So let's kind of talk about the 15% first, where Tampa gets the ball first.
Yeah.
Tampa is doing something very, very, very stupid offensively. They are telegraphing run by having their quarterback under center in neutral field state. So that's basically 20 to 20 approximately. Quarterbacks under center. They are running the ball on first down an obscene percentage of the time. They're not doing it well. I think a huge factor in that is that they are telegraphing it.
Yeah.
And that said, if that is any part of their game plan early on here, we're probably looking at a 3-and-out.
Which I don't think you're an over backer.
The death, great. Yes. If you're considering what am I going to do with the total, I'm going to trade a total in a primetime standalone game. I'm going to trade an under or I'm going to trade an over, right? Like I'm going into this with what is a general expectation. I'm going into this with the idea that this is probably going to be a higher scoring game than the market thinks. And it's a lowish total. We're on the low side of an average total for the year, even though we have an elite offense on one side of the ball. We'll just leave it at there. But the idea of, okay, we're going to lose equity before the first points get scored, that realistically only happens if you have a relatively long drive that either ends in a turnover or a field goal or a missed field goal, right? Or downs, right? That's actually the real kiss of death. Like Tampa drives the field and they go 4 and out, they go goal to go, 4th down, no conversion. And now the Bills are buried at their own, goal line, right? So that's sort of the kiss of death you need to avoid if you're going to come into a game with an over and you're going to look to do some live trading. Any kind of turnover early in the game, that's hugely positive. Anytime, a 3-and-out, perfectly fine. Bills getting the ball first, I'm happy because in that world, their scripted offense is solid. They have matchup advantages all over the place. And Sean McDermott is an experienced coach. So for the Thursday night football setting specifically, he's been here before enough times and realistically spent some time last week setting up their scripted offense for this to already have it installed and ready to go. So if the Bills get it, we're expecting
going.
touchdown. We're expecting touchdown, and we're expecting this number to immediately go in our favor.
So we're lining up now. Kickoff just moments away. At which point, I forgot to switch the little finger over because I was listening so intently. That was final strategy. So thanks so much to Drew. And now we're going to get ready and get trading here. So if you're new to the program, this is where you want to jump in. Tell us what you're considering for bets. We're going to follow this whatever we take. It looks like the Buccaneers will indeed get the football.
Oh boy,
Buffalo will be kicking off. So we're going to hold on the total, see what happens here. And go from there. So you're out on a spread though, right? You said 9.5, still not rich enough for you.
Yeah, not enough. I think the likelihood of a relatively competitive game in the first half, given the Bills' injuries, I think is high. Right? Okay. I don't know that you're going to get a ton of equity early here. I hope it happens. I would love nothing more than like 21 first half points by the Bills. Who cares what the Bucks do?
Oh, interesting. The total just moved to 41.5. Now our feed is faster, of course, than what we're seeing on television. So let's say if Tampa Bay were to come down and put up 3 points, kick a field goal, how does that change your mathematics there?
Well, I think the total, we're going to have a better opportunity to get in we would have had a better opportunity to get in at a price because they're probably, a field goal drive early in a game, first possession, those typically take about 6 minutes off the clock. So we're going to lose a good chunk of the first half. And if you only get 3 points out of that, that's not great. Now, again, like this is a low enough total that it doesn't really, put the fear in me.
I mean, now we're looking at, it's a little juiced, minus 135 for 41.5. In fact, let's look at some of the alternate markets here for the total just to get our peepers on it while it populates. Rashad White is 6. Oh, no. Oh boy. Okay. Rashad White about a 6-yard first down run there. Interestingly enough, I saw a stat this morning that nobody has had more balls batted down at the line of scrimmage in the last 5 years than Baker Mayfield. And of course, his first pass attempt gets batted down. So the original line we looked at, 43.5, is now even money, plus 100 $49.50 per share. The over 42.5 minus 125, $55 per share. So our original bet that we wanted to make, which was 43.5, is now even money. So I don't know what your models are telling you there, but playing into our hands for a stop here.
Yeah, I mean, a 3 and out would do just fine. A turnover would do just fine. Let's see what happens with Baker here. Really, but nice progress. A chunk play works. I think Bills people who were who were trying to get jam those Bills 9s, 8.5s, and 9s probably a little sorry they didn't wait, because I feel like a touchdown drive for the Bucks here is probably makes this a 3.5er.
Okay, I was going to ask. Like that. That's a great entry point. Now we tried that a couple weeks ago for Bears Commanders. Didn't exactly work out in our favor.
Yeah, that's
true. It was a bad bet. It's not a Commanders night, that's for sure. Let's see. Second down coming here after an incomplete pass to Mike Evans. So I'm going to leave the totals up. We'll focus in on the totals, specifically the over. And then after this drive, we can reassess the spread.
A couple of thoughts. Tampa's snapping it long before we get to the end of the play clock, which is a good sign for our over. They're not, trying to milk this thing. And the 2 incomplete passes so far have done a good job of kind of padding us here.
And they've been downfield. These are not swings, in the flats or anything like that. They're being very aggressive. Does that surprise you at all? Like we had talked earlier about how their EDP is the worst, literally the worst in the National Football League. They can't run the football. Seemingly, to get into a shootout with the Bills on the road doesn't seem like a recipe for success, and yet they're doing it.
Yeah. it's a little dangerous. I mean, they're playing with fire for sure.
So is Baker. Baker's so dangerous.
Yeah, well, he's a gunslinger. I don't know. They may feel like their backs are against the wall a little bit here. Like, as you go through this middle portion of the season, you get variable variable effort, you get variable intention in terms of coaching staffs, and when they elect to, that was about the worst possible play for an over. Well, that sequence, marching backwards 5 yards, and then just an absolutely an absolutely useless screen pass that had little hope of success. That'll just wipe out a nice minute there for us.
Over 43.5 now up to plus 113.
Yeah. Ultimately though, the Buccaneers, they have a new offensive coordinator who they're showing right now, Dave Canales.
Yeah.
It's really, really not an impressive thing to be able to be quote predictable at this stage of your. Oh, they're calling that incomplete. It looked like a
that might help us though, right? Because he's
incomplete. Incomplete gives the ball to the Bills, but
so here's the thing. I know we always say we want to make bets in the commercial break, right? We're not trying to squeeze before a punt.
For sure.
Nice play by Jordan Poyer. Yeah. To answer Humayd's question, yes, that was a straight bottle of wine from our fantastic sponsor, Barefoot Wines. Please enjoy a crisp Pinot Grigio, and then one day maybe they'll actually sponsor the program. It was a tough pull. I took a pull. It was tough. It was not easy to get through. I'm not going to be honest with you.
That's why tough guys like Putty are out there drinking.
Yeah, I mean, it puts hair on your chests and other places too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's for the podcast tomorrow that I'm doing. Okay, so Bucks punting here, 4th 15. Presumably we'll get a fair catch, and then we're gonna go to commercial break. Oh, great punt! Oh, now this changes the equation.
All-time punt.
Now this changes the equation in big time. Instead of starting at the 25, it's starting at the 3. What say you, Drew?
Well, it's dreadful.
Well, I mean, should we just
I hated that. I hated that
a gander at some unders.
I don't know how in the world he managed to get that thing to spin after it landed coming in hot like that, but really, really, really well done by the punter.
Yeah. So under 43.5 now, minus 153, 42.5 at minus 141. Now, realistically speaking, you're looking at what, like a 27-17 game gets you home, right? Yeah. So 43.5 is now plus 127. It was plus 135. It just went down.
Yeah.
Murray's in on the over.
I think the right thing to do is to play over when the market potentially reacts to the Bills not scoring, right? So one of the when you think about like what is going to drive market velocity here, right? The expectation heading into this game is the Bills were going to win by margin, but it was going to be a lower scoring game, right? And so what my intention, or my expectation is, if you're trying to capitalize on on an adjustment to game state, that may be an over adjustment. That's all you're trying to do with a live entry, right? Like, we've had something just happened. The market has made an adjustment, but it overreacted to that new piece of information. Okay. The chances of the overreaction happening in this game are going to be the Bills scored. We thought they were going to score, right? And it's going to go up more than it maybe ought to, right? That's my general sense. Tampa not scoring is going to be a little bit of a confirmatory, right? Oh yeah, we didn't think so. So this is a decent time to get in on an over because Tampa just punted and they obviously stuck the Bills deep in their own end zone. But the time lost so far in the game is virtually negligible. Like, we have lots of game left.
Yeah.
So I don't think this is an especially problematic spot.
I was just saying, everything you're saying to me makes me think now is a good entry point.
Now is a good entry point.
You're saying on the over 40.5, or are you looking at an alt? Because the 40.5 is now the 50-50 line.
Okay, let me see here.
I'll bring them up here. Yeah, I'm curious what your models are saying. Boo says he's in on the Bills -9.5 at -110.
I'm at 40. Yeah, I'm at 41.5. So it's not a monster edge by any stretch of the imagination.
Quick 13-yard gain here on first down for the Bills. So
all right, let's see what kind of urgency. So they're moving right up to the line of scrimmage. They're lining up quickly. Now we're talking. This is exactly what I was hoping to see the Bills doing. They're running hurry up offense. They have their scripted plays already down. Everybody knows what they're doing on every single play.
41.5 is at -104 right now.
All right, this was kind of the ideal confirmation, at least with the nice design run for Josh Allen. Now we're talking.
I love it. Yeah,
get everybody. Yeah, let's see if he gets everybody up, sets them up pretty quickly. Like this is what I was hoping would be the Bills' strategy coming into this game, and so maybe I am now succumbing to confirmation bias here. But yeah, this was exactly it. So 2 plays and 30 seconds off the clock. They're already back to the 25. So they've overcome the incredible punt in relatively quick fashion. Nice job again, getting the ball out. Man. Nice catch and run.
Love it. And he's up past the 50-yard line almost.
Beautiful. Okay. Beautiful job.
Well, I tried to jump on the
big
over
momentum.
I was having
big time. And honestly, the fact that they're using Shakir here again is like really smart. Like this guy was relatively lightly used last week. Like they probably identified him and they were like, "Hey man, like you're gonna be the guy on the first drive. This is your role. We're going to you. We're gonna create space for you here, and we're going to you." I like that they've already targeted him twice in a way that it's kind of surprising the Buccaneers. Throw over the top to Gabe Davis. Beautiful.
Man. Well, the markets are moving so fast. We're not going to be able to get in at this point. We have to hopefully wait for a stoppage of play or something before a touchdown. Or they're scoring. Real quick, hell nah. I'm interested in getting into matched betting. Does anyone have recommendations? Of course we do. Go to getsporttrade.com. Along the blue ribbon, you'll see an entire way to make $4,000 matched betting on Sport Trade with all the other books in New Jersey and Colorado. Yeah, happy to show you, Drew. I feel like you already know how it goes.
Yeah.
Davis, another catch. So yeah, go check that out. Hell nah. Send me an email, dcoob@getsporttrade.com. We'll hook you up.
That's cool.
Yeah. It was a great series. I did it myself, made over $3,000. I can't even use Sport Trade. So imagine if you actually can use Sport Trade.
Yeah.
You make a lot more there. So we're looking at some markets who are flowing in and out here as the Bills are just marching down the field, about the 29-yard line. You're seeing that price fluctuation. Originally, this was 43.5 and then 42.5, but it looks like we're going to be able to pay a little bit to be on the right side, but not the worst thing.
Yeah.
Nice. First down.
Nice. So far, absolutely loving this. This is what I signed up for. Aggressive. Aggressive Bills, no huddle. Everybody's on the same page. Yeah. This is the sign of a well-coached team, well-coached, well-schemed offense. Now I bet you this is the shot to Diggs. This is about the right point. 25 yards. They're going for the end zone. Oh, it's a throwaway. Nice job by Tampa creating a little bit of pressure there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why I didn't go to Diggs there. It looked like he had a one-on-one.
Well, if you were to believe the NFL was scripted, they had a great rack shot from Diggs to Josh Allen. Would have been perfect timing. If only. Photographer stuff.
Yeah.
Look at Temple legend Todd Bowles there.
Temple legend.
Yeah, we only have so many, so you got to shout them out when they arrive.
Did you know Sean McDermott undefeated on Thursday Night Football?
Oh,
Todd Bowles 2-3. I think more. I think 6-0. 6-0, 5-1 against the spread, 6-0 straight up.
Another Shakur catch here down to the 20, so they're in the high red zone. And our totals are definitely trending upwards. 42.5 now, -117, -127 for 41.5.
Okay, we've got 6 minutes of game time expired. This is a big down though, because
field goal. 3.
Yeah, 2 potentially bad things could happen here. A field goal attempt, if this is an incompletion, is no good for us, and a 4th and short where they go for it and don't get it would be bad, which is kind of why
No, go. I mean, you're running a route 5 yards
throwing it short of the sticks there. PU. I don't ever understand that unless they have already gotten the intention to line up and boot Josh Allen to run for the first down or something like that. But it doesn't look like that's the plan. They're going to come out and kick a field goal. So yeah.
So are we sitting out? I guess, right?
Damn. Well, we've gotten signal that the Bills have some urgency tonight to score, which is good. Yeah. 3 points. 3 points in 7 minutes of game time. Not ideal. But again, it's a pretty low total, so it's not like we are in especially dire straits when it comes to needing points here.
Right. So we're going to go to commercial. So we're going to get a bit of a settling of the market for a minute or two. So
my guess is it's going to settle in the 41 range. Do they ever hang flats, or is it always half?
It's always half.
Always
half.
Always hooks.
Yeah.
So
that way,
40.
It's just in-house rules for pushes that are.
Yeah, I think I would have a juiced over 40.5 and a juiced under 41.5 would be my guess when we start to see this thing reopen.
It comes back here. Let's see. Bills now up to minus 10.5. Money line minus 627.
Okay.
Any interest in the Bucks here on a drive? It's pretty low. While we wait for these totals to populate here. So 18.5% chance. Bucks at plus 432. If they put anything together, you could at least ground out a little bit of profit there. 8:04 left in the first quarter.
That's not a bad call. Let me take a look at their sequencing on the first drive here.
I think it was run, pass.
Yeah, they had one rush attempt for 6 yards, and that was their first play.
Yeah. Updated totals here. 42.5 minus 106, 41.5 minus 115, 40.5 minus 120.
Let's take a little Tampa money line.
Cool. I like it.
And see if we can get a score here, because in general, the philosophy that we were using on the first drive, I think was repeatable.
Okay. Your thoughts on a total?
What did you say it was again?
Minus 115 for 41.5, minus 104 for the original total.
I'm almost squarely on there. That's my number is basically right there. So I don't think either of those really inspire me.
Gotcha.
No.
All right. Well, that's okay. Hey, we picked up the Bucks money line here just for good old times. We'll see what happens.
I'm pretty surprised that they didn't take a shot at the end zone in any of those 3 downs. And maybe the plan was on that one that that there was immediate pressure in his face, and good play by Shaq Barrett to get off fast there. But I think the Bills left some points on the field on that drive. That's a bummer.
Definitely feels that way for sure. We're getting back to it. Just a quick note on Josh Allen dating Haley Steinfeld. Love her. That's fun.
Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. They're pretty hot and heavy. If you were to ask Elaine Bettis.
Interesting. She's a Tarzana, California native.
Is she?
Yeah.
Did not know that. There you go. He's a Wyoming guy. Or no, he's a North California guy, right? He just went to Wyoming.
I don't actually know where Josh Allen was from.
I think maybe he's from Wyoming. I thought he was Northern California. Regardless, the Bucks returned to the 20-yard line with a
terrible decision to bring it out.
Yeah, that was bad.
Unbelievable. Yeah, he's from Fresno.
Okay, there you go. Yeah,
you're right.
Just a couple Cali kids running around, being kids.
Incredible.
Yeah. Yep. That's what you come here for. You come for the trading knowledge, but also a little bit of all that. Great point here from Boost. Hallie Josh lost in the T-Swift madness. I don't know whose Q score is higher, but just loved Haley Steinfeld as whatever Marvel character she is. I don't remember all their names. It's hard to keep track. There's so many of them.
I don't know, man.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll be completely honest with you. Marvel, the whole Marvel universe misses me almost entirely.
That's okay. We weren't all comic book kids.
Yeah, didn't ever really. It wasn't even about comic books as much as just like
the sheer weight of all of it.
Actually, yeah, and it's just the if you're gonna give me fantasy, I'd rather it be somewhat more anchored in the real world, I guess.
Gotcha. So you're a big Game of Thrones guy then.
Yeah, sure. There we go.
Okay. Never seen it.
No.
We're doing this right now. Doing a lot of that. Okay. Bucks have the football. We jumped on the money line here. let's see, at plus 446. So like anything really, any sustained drive could help us here. Just an awful 1st and 10 run. I mean, you mentioned it. They're just telegraphing the runs. I mean, that talk about filling every single hole, A, B, C, and D out to the sideline. I mean, that was pretty bad. Okay.
Did you get confirmation? Is Ed Oliver playing, by the way?
It's a good question. I did not.
It's weird that the Bucs are a very confusing offensive line to try to grade. They've been really, really, really successful in pass protection.
They've allowed 8 sacks all season.
Yeah, and the tackle play has just been outstanding. The interior offensive line is, nobody really notable there. But for whatever,
Marpet, right, retired, and Brian Jensen is hurt for the year, so all backups.
Yeah, and that's been the kiss of death for a lot of teams and a lot of offensive lines. If you're a weak interior pass pro, your quarterback is under duress like immediately, and it all kind of comes apart at the seams. We've seen that with a bunch of teams this year. And I kind of thought the Bucs were candidates for that, but they're doing a really nice job of keeping Baker upright. They can't run block though to save their lives. Like, this is very, very surprising that they've had such a tough time. Now the Bucs are in milk the clock mode. They're gonna wait till 4 seconds on the play clock to get the snap off. There goes the flag.
There you go. You got a flag.
Great call.
Well, that could help our money line. That could help our over. Who knows? I mean, we haven't taken one yet, but I'm anticipating
defensive pass interference.
Again, if you're new to the show, we usually go through the first quarter because Drew's got to prep for the deep dive halftime show, which is presented by Profit. Leave that there.
Is it?
But we've got, isn't it?
I don't know.
That's what your salespeople told me.
Okay.
So foul here on I thought that was Jordan Poirier for a second. So Kate Otten draws the pass interference. So a big penalty here that could put the over back in play. Pull those back up here.
That was nice.
The market maker seems to think so. Over 40.5 was just at minus 125.
A penalty like that is worth like a 1.5. Obviously it doesn't. I mean, because of when it happened, right? Like 3rd and long like that. Like, where you are in the field, and basically moving the Bucs into a position where one more successful set of downs and they're going to get points out of this drive. I dig Baker Mayfield taking some shots down the field in this game. I hope they keep doing that.
I think they'll have to, right? Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know. I don't understand exactly their usage of Chris Godwin this year. He's wow. That was
that's a money line and over a killer.
That was less than optimal.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I think it's better than a snap going over his head and the Bills getting a touchdown, I guess, if we have some money line here.
That's true.
That's true. Not ideal. And I guess so. The other thing that's like troubling about what the Bucs are doing with their running attack and it being so unsuccessful and telegraphing is that when he's in shotgun like that, it's not going to be a run, and so that you're hurting your passing game on top of your running game being wildly ineffectual. So
it also makes it almost more impressive. They've only allowed 8 sacks this year. Excuse me.
Right.
Given that,
right. Well, it's almost like teams are just like willing to concede, or if we can't get pressure with 4, we can't get it. Well, you're just going to put enough guys in the secondary that whatever they try to attempt, we're going to have opportunity to bat it down or defend the pass. So it's an interesting chess match, but the Bucs are not doing themselves any favors.
3rd and 9 for the Bucs. 5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. 3rd and 9 upcoming. Buccaneers team that was, I think, 2-1 and has dropped to 3-3, kind of maybe surprising some folks. I mean, that division is just awful.
But needless to say, this is a massive down for the opportunity to trade it into profit with the Buccaneers.
There you go. 3rd and 9.
First down.
This is an interesting spot here. I mean, this feels like a go for it territory.
Does feel like a go for it, and it looks like they are going to take points or attempt to take points. Their field goal kicker is not especially bad.
Okay, and I didn't know where that was going.
He's 11 of 12 on the season. Yeah. He's made a 57-yarder. This is a 50-yarder. The conditions are fine. Like you can see the flags right now. There's nothing. So he should have probably about an 80% chance to make this.
Oh, looks like it was blocked.
It got blocked.
Blocked. Yeah, at the line. Okay, so is the over dead? Feels like the over is on life support right now.
We're a little cursed.
Our trading interest.
Yeah.
Well, but this is why, I know you took a pre-flop one. But for the purpose of trading here, this is why we wait, right? This is why we kind of based upon deferrals and tendencies, we like to kind of watch the first series or so.
Man.
And
they didn't really give us a good replay there to see if it was actually partially blocked or if that was just a miserable attempt.
But Drew, you've said, and if you're just joining us, we talked about this earlier. Drew, you've said, if you think that both of these teams are going to come out and be aggressive, a pre-flop over maybe the bet, it doesn't mean you've made a bad bet. I mean, both these teams have come out and were aggressive.
Yeah.
With the exception of the 3 and out briefly for the Bucks, but they threw 2 balls 15 plus yards downfield.
Yeah. And on top of that, we've had a total of 21 plays and a total of 6 rushing attempts. And one of them was a misdirection, an end around, which doesn't really count in my book as a rushing attempt. So we'll say 5 out of 21 so far have been rush attempts. That's kind of what you need to, in order to have any kind of confidence that a pre-game over is the right play if you're going to trade. 10.5 minutes gone here, and 3 points is not ideal. Any kind of Bucks position, we've lost $20 on that.
Yeah.
We're probably in trouble here.
Okay. We could always save ourselves. Let's see. If we were to sell out right now.
I guess
we would lose 30, so we could reclaw back 69.44.
Can we take a live over, in which case we gain equity with a touchdown?
Sure.
And that covers some of our our Bucks. Let's look for 40.5. So anything 41 is going to end up being a key number now that we're in like field goal territory here. So I think 40.5 is the over 40.5 at plus 111. Yeah. Let's get enough to end up in the good if we end up with 41, but the Bills win, because I think that's where we're headed here, and
that's where we're at.
So we're rooting for 2 things. One is a Bills touchdown relatively quickly. 2 would be a Josh Allen pick that the Buccaneers run back somewhat successful.
Far.
Presumably a touchdown.
So boost,
even better.
Yeah. So boost with some good in-game trading. Just grab the Bucks plus 12.5 at minus 104. So now he's got a 3-point middle. He's got Tampa Bay plus 12.5 and Bills minus 9.5. So there
Diggs making a very tough catch there.
Yeah, there you go. So now back on the move, being aggressive in the red zones.
Not bad.
Yeah,
I like it.
We need a tutty here, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's
no more messing around. Need 6. I mean, if you walk out of the first quarter with 10 total points, how do you feel?
Good.
Yeah. On a 40.5. Well, now what about you had a 42.5, correct?
42.5, yeah. I feel fine about that. Okay. The first quarter is come on.
I get a flag here for holding on the screen.
Yeah. You know what really grinds me when you see flags like that? He clearly did not get a competitive advantage. Why? The magnitude of the penalty there.
Ooh, potentially a big injury here. Yeah, Tristan Wirfs, who's been an all-pro tackle going into the medical tent here. That's a big problem for our money line bet here.
Not good.
No.
But yeah, a 10-yard penalty for holding on a play like that is just a wildly disproportionate. What you how you are penalized for not gaining any competitive advantage. I really wish refs would just let those go. Like the ones where, the quarterback is in the pocket for 5 seconds and a guy's bearing down on him and it's like a little bit ticky tack, but the offensive lineman is clearly gaining an advantage and he would have been sacked otherwise. Like that's fine. Like 10 yards for that, that could be game changing type of deal. But the ticky tack ones where there's no competitive advantage gained, it just absolutely drive me crazy. James Cook not doing more with that screen driving me crazy too. Like that was a really well designed play, and for some completely ungodly known reason, he went inside instead of taking that to the edge. He had the edge sealed. Not impressed with
Dorsey will yell about it.
Not impressed with James Cook really this season. He's impressed with himself every time he does something good though. That's for sure.
The live line here, 12.5 for the Bills. Up 3-0 is Josh Allen.
Basically pricing in they are going to score a touchdown here.
Wide open. Shakur again.
Wow.
Again.
Wow.
Oh man. Not a single Dalton Kincaid look so far today. A lot of people were thinking with Dawson Knox. IR, he was going to get some run.
Doesn't feel like they've utilized Kincaid anywhere close to the way they were building up in the preseason. And I can't.
No, I agree.
I can't answer that at all. Like
no. Totally agree. They first round pick.
Yeah, it's very, very strange.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we jumped in on the over here. Now the Bills in the mid red zone here. Chance to score. Cook down to the 4. So here we go. Here we go. Opportunities abound. We can get to 10 total points here. Now our Buccaneers money line here looks to be sunk, but we can sell it back if we wanted to. I know some folks don't like to do this. We could scratch back $44.44.
It's the money line, right?
Yeah.
Let's get our money back. That's not going to win.
The beta version of the app, for whatever reason, is not realizing that I'm sitting on my couch in New Jersey. But we'll just operate under the assumption that we're no longer holding that one.
Okay.
So we're laser focused on the over. Oh, there he is. He's down at the 1, I think.
Was that Kincaid?
It sure was down at the 1.
Did not give him the touchdown. Okay.
No.
Josh Allen's going to run it himself. I hope if everyone, all you first touchdown players, I hope you had some Josh Allen in your pocket.
Yeah, he's short. That's a shame. Nobody cares. I just traded for Dalton Kincaid. Anyway, here we go. We've got
Josh Allen was about 10-1.
Okay.
First touchdown score, and if they go to Cook here, they're absolutely insane.
Latavius Murray, and he's not even close.
Oh no!
Not even close.
Oh no! What are we doing?
We're wasting.
What are we doing?
We're wasting time.
What are we doing?
That's going to take us into the first quarter.
Boy, that was bad play call. Latavius Murray has.
Well, look, I don't know. It looks like they may be trying to run a play here.
Not a heck of a lot of juice. They're going for it on. No, this feels like classic. This feels like classic. Try to get him to jump off sides, which doesn't even help you here.
No. Okay. Yeah, they're going to go to the quarter.
What?
So 4th and goal here. What a terrible sequence. James Cook run, a Andy Reid shovel pass to Dalton Kincaid, and then you run Latavius Murray right up the middle.
That was
with all the talent they've got on the outside there. So 3-0 at the end of the first, Drew.
I know I'm not the only person in the world that believes the Bills are good, but I'm starting to ask myself questions. Like that was really, really, really weird play calling.
It's not that they're not good. I just think maybe that championship window may have closed.
Yeah, well,
who knows? We're seeing some
the
interesting
injuries to their defense, I think, is assisting with that pretty aggressively this year.
Yeah.
Man, yuck. Well, I got to hang in here and see if they actually score.
Good. I was going to ask if you wanted to wait to see what they do on 4th down, because another field goal here would really hurt.
You got Josh Allen, for Christ's sakes.
I know.
What are we doing? Do they know they have Josh Allen?
Maybe not.
Maybe we should.
There you go. Trade for King Henry. Apparently, he's on the block. I just find it hard to believe the Titans are going to move him, but
yeah, I don't know.
We'll see.
It feels
Kevin Byard's going to play 70 plays for the Eagles this weekend, so who knows?
Yeah, the fact that that they traded Bayard was a bad sign. That they're gonna keep the leaders on that team there. So they may just get what they get for everybody who's got value. Derrick Henry they probably want him to retire there, I think, though. So
yeah, I don't know. Market makers expecting a Bills tutty here down to 5.5.
I mean,
well, no, I guess that would mean they're expecting a field goal, right? Not a touchdown. Yeah. Or perhaps this is just a market they're in the process of updating, because that just doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Yeah, market makers are recalibrating as we speak. So we'll stick it out through the this 4th and goal play here for Buffalo. Now, from a betting perspective, we want them to go for 6, but from a football perspective, the way your defense has looked in the first quarter, what do you expect them to do? Not what you hope them to do. What do you expect them to do?
It depends on what happens here with this 4th down.
Well, that's what I mean.
Sorry. So your question, I thought you were looking forward to.
The question is, do you expect them to go for it on 4th and 1?
I do. Yeah, I do. I do expect them to go for it. If they kick the field goal, then tear it all down. I mean, I can't imagine that with Josh Allen under center that you're not willing to go try to get the hard yard on the goal line.
Give me the old tush push. That's a long one.
It is a long one.
It's a long one. See the Kincaid, the motion man.
They're doing one of my least favorite things, which is
rollout
shotgun.
Kincaid again, not even close. They read
that was closer. Easily. That was closer to a Bucks touchdown.
Yeah, I was having flashes of Rondé Barber in my head, unfortunately. That wasn't close. A Kincaid target at least, but that was telegraphed, I would say.
So we may get points after all, but it's going to be 2, not 7. Wow.
Yeah,
that was super disappointing.
So just to clean that up, Boos, goal line stand while Todd Bowles is talking to a reporter. That's taped, so that's not live. Just FYI. Yeah, we're seeing replays of it, and is it Jamal Dean?
Jamal Dean really read that one a mile away.
Yeah,
you gotta do that. You gotta do that from under center. You can't shotgun because
agreed. Man,
I don't know, man. That was rough.
With such an aggressive game plan from both teams, really, to get 3 points is
really, really, really disappointing.
The low end of expectation.
Yeah, life support here. What's the current total? We're
38 at 35.5.
Yikes! Wow. What a mess. My goodness. 129 yards so far for the Bills and 3 points.
Wow.
Sheesh.
Might get 2 here. Nope. There you go. Gonna get a flag? No. I mean, change of possession, a quick punt, quick touchdown strike here. Maybe you're back in it. I don't know. You're gonna have to get moving though.
Yeah. I mean, that goal line stuff.
Yeah. A goal line missed field goal.
Yeah, missed field goal and a goal line stuff. This is like this is nightmare fuel for an over. No questions. No questions asked.
All right. Well, you tell me if you want to watch the next 5 minutes or so. We certainly can. But I know you've got a halftime show to prep for.
Yeah, I'll see. We'll see what happens with this particular set of downs, and then we'll sign off.
Okay.
Oh, another almost pick. Jesus. All right. Well.
Okay. All
right.
Well, let's
go points.
If you're gonna watch some more content, make sure you pop on to the Deep Dive pod at halftime here, the Thursday night game with Drew and Andy. And I believe we're back next Thursday, Drew and myself. So looking forward to that. Thanks everybody for watching. Enjoy your week and your crisp Pinot Grigio almost brought to you by Barefoot Wine. Drew, thanks, man. Good to talk to you.
Best of luck, guys.
See ya.